Dak Prescott. Dink and dunk Dak. What is there really to say about the guy? He's an overvalued, overhyped quarterback who has absolutely nothing proprietary about his game and doesn't show up when it counts. He's a very average dink and dunk quarterback. We know what he is. He is a guy who can hit open receivers, keep the chains moving, and flourish on a team with a good running game. Dak is just there. He's a quarterback who's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He won't cost you games, but he's sure as hell not going to win you games.
Here we are back again on Blow the Whistle, and much thanks to everybody who tuned into the last one. We're just gonna keep busting these NFL myths. As promised at the end of the last episode, we're finally gonna put to rest the debate between Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. If you're an Eagles fan, go ahead and hate me now, and be ready to be in your feelings. So here it is. Dak Prescott is better than Carson Wentz. Point blank, period. No matter how you spin it, Dak has been the better player and accomplished more in his career. And this is not a rant, not a hot take, but an informed appraisal of a common conjecture that's based on superficial aspects and selective anomalies. So for about the next 5 minutes, I'm going to destroy the lies about Dak Prescott and why it's unreasonable to believe Carson Wentz is better. As a matter of fact, you can say I'm putting these false claims on trial. Now, before I get started, I'm not going to argue that Dak is healthy more often, or is a better runner with the ball in his hands, and has a playoff win and Wentz doesn't, because you should already know that. So consider that a head start. But I'm going to focus on the most common misconceptions in contrasting both players. Dak is the more accurate passer. There's no denying it. Anyone can easily look at their career completion percentage and see Dak is more accurate. But you know what? That's way too simple. So let's ignore for a second that Dak is the fourth most accurate passer of all time. Instead, let's focus on how Dak had the seventh best on-target percentage of throws last year, and Wentz was ranked 25th, behind Mitch Trubisky, Gardner Minshew, and Josh Allen. We can also talk about how Wentz was middle of the pack in bad throw percentage last year, but Dak was sixth best in that category. Now hold up, Eagles fans. I know what you're thinking. Of course Dak had a higher percentage. He's not throwing the ball deep downfield. He's Dak and dunk, right? One problem with that. Dak has a higher yards per attempt and air yards per attempt. Wait, that's not fair. I cherry-picked that one season. Okay, then there's a career comparison. Listen, if anyone's dinking and dunking, it's Carson Wentz and the Eagles and their paid sponsor Dunkin' Donuts. And no, I didn't Photoshop this. As a football fan universally, I can tell you every quarterback needs help. Manning had Harrison, Montana had Rice, and Aikman had Irvin. Now, as a Cowboys fan, I know people are referring to Dak without Ezekiel Elliott in 2017, but these are the numbers. I'll admit, they're not great, and you can argue that Dak can be dependent on a running game and a good offensive line. But Dak is nowhere near this dependent on the running back. And mind you, Carson Wentz has had Jason Peters, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, and Jason Kelce. If the last graphic wasn't evident enough, it's very clear that Carson Wentz needs a supporting cast around him, and again, every quarterback does. But the reason why this bedtime story is tossed around against Dak is because Carson Wentz won the division, throwing to Greg Ward, which is fact, and the gimmick that he didn't have a receiver with more than 500 yards, which again is fact. But that's because the champion of checkdown had half of his productions going to two tight ends and Miles Sanders. The reason why I'm unimpressed is because many of these wins late in the season came against the same teams Dak was destroying by 2 scores and getting no credit for. Plus, you want me to forget that he lost to the Dolphins?
Not today!
This stigma is actually most true about Carson Wentz. Here's a graphic on quarterback EPA. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it to you. Expected points added per play. The average expected points added per play in which an offensive player is directly involved. EPAP is a measure of an individual player's impact on the scores of his games on a per-play basis. So long story short, this means, what is the individual's direct impact on the scoreboard? How much is the individual player accountable for in winning and losing? This is last year. There's Dak, there's Wentz. And for their whole careers, there's Dak, there's Wentz. If there's still any doubt about who you can count on in crunch time, here's how they compare in game-winning drives and comeback wins. And it sure looks like Dak is more clutch. These next two have little to nothing to do with Dak, but more of a reality check for Eagles fans. Eagles fans, I get it. I understand 2017 was special and close to your hearts. I got you. I really do. But to pretend like Carson Wentz's shortened season is something to bring up in debate like some major talking point is a reach. He didn't win MVP, even if you feel like he would have. Almost doesn't count. Just like Dez almost caught it. And to really tell it how it is, it's arguably not the best season by an Eagles quarterback. Carson Wentz is living off of that one season and a physical archetype that he isn't even maximizing. So before I forget, you can leave the bigger, faster, stronger argument somewhere else. My last point. The Eagles did not clinch the number one seed until Nick Foles was under center. That is fact. They got to celebrate, drink champagne, and make weird shrines of Nick Foles after they clinched the number one seed with Foles under center. And he went on to win the most important game in Eagles franchise history, not Carson Wentz. When you line all this up, there's no honest reason to believe Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. Cowboys fans, do me this one favor. Find an Eagles fan and share this video with them. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe and send more bad Cowboys takes on Twitter or in the comments below. And thanks for watching.
Elliott in the backfield. Prescott. Elliott got knocked down. Throws wide open. Jason Witten to win the game.
Like, there's no reasonable argument that Wentz has actually been better than Dak. And the only thing that people put up is somehow that Dak had a great surrounding cast. Wentz's cast won the Super Bowl without him.